How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? I'm your host, Truman Bradley. Let me show you something interesting. We are going to watch a single living cell as it goes about its business of creating another life. Here, magnified 6,000 times, is one microscopic cell. Millions of cells, similar to this one, work incessantly to produce new lives, whether the lives be animal or human, your life or the life of your child. And those long thread-like substances which you see in the center of the cell are called the chromosomes and genes. It is these chromosomes which determine whether your child will have blue eyes or black hair, a talent for painting, or perhaps an aptitude for engineering. What other characteristics are transmitted through the genes? Scientists are still struggling for the answer. One problem in particular is puzzling geneticists. A problem posed by this extraordinary child. Her name is Shanti Devi. She was born in Delhi, India in 1926. From the moment this remarkable child could speak, she insisted that she had a husband named Keda Nath Chobi and a little son, both of whom were living in the town of Mutra. Here is Mutra, miles from Delhi. When Shanti was 5 years old, she was taken to Mutra by an associate of Mahatma Gandhi. When they reached the outskirts of the town, Shanti, who had never been there before, conducted the party through the streets and bazaars without hesitation, directly to a house in which lived Keda Nath Chobi and his son. Keda informed them that his wife had died in 1925, a little over a year before Shanti was born. Shanti spoke to Keda with amazingly accurate detail of the various events of their marriage. And most amazing of all, Shanti went directly to the place where the dead woman had concealed her jewels. Jewels which no one had been able to locate before. Shanti died in 1939, and as yet her amazing powers remain unexplained. But posing the important scientific problem, do the genes and chromosomes transmit memories from generation to generation? That is the mystery behind our story you are about to see. Here in the biology department of a prominent Eastern university, geneticist Anna Adler is conducting a series of intensive experiments in an attempt to discover what specific hereditary traits are transmitted in animals. A few years ago, quite by chance, she discovered 2 mice who were so sensitive to high-pitched sounds that they raced about in a frenzied kind of waltz. By careful breeding, the professor developed a pure strain of these mice. Here is the 8th generation of those first mice, apparently normal in every respect. But how will one of them respond to high-frequency sound? Sound beyond the range of the human ear.
Professor Anna, come here and look at this. Eighth generation? Well, success. You've created an inherited characteristic.
Hardly. When 50 generations respond similarly, I will perhaps consider the experiment a success. Meanwhile, I have a working hypothesis. Well, what brilliant revelation did your Dalmatians bring today?
You know the female puppy, the one with the black eye?
Similar markings to her great-grandfather.
Well, it's almost identical. Come here, I want to show you something. Now look at that. What would you say she's doing?
Apparently sniffing for food.
Exactly. Now, she's been doing that for the past 4 days, and always in that corner of the cage, which is the exact spot where I used to feed her grandfather. Now, she couldn't possibly know where her grandfather was fed, so she must have inherited that memory.
You still wish to accept this preposterous theory that memories are transmitted through the genes?
Yes, I do. And not only in relation to animals. I'm convinced that memories are transferred in human beings as well. Look, how else do you explain the feeling that we've experienced something before or known someone before?
Norman, my advice to you is first catch your rabbit.
What?
My mother, who is a very fine cook as well as a scientist, once gave me a recipe for rabbit stew. The first direction stated, catch your rabbit. All right, now you wish to prove that memories are transmitted in human beings. Where are you going to catch a family of 100 generations with recorded history to trace such a theory? Continue working with animals, my young friend. You're a good scientist, but as yet just a little too romantic.
Romantic? There is no romance in this theory. Look, you've checked all the records yourself. You think that just because...
Still quarreling, you two? Honestly, how do you ever get any work done? Hi, darling. Just stopped by to tell you I'm not going to be home for dinner tonight.
Well, naturally, you've not been home to dinner in 3 weeks. Now, look, there is a problem for you to solve. Distinguished scientists on both sides of the family, and Marie has not one brain in her head. Now, how do you explain that?
Well, easily. I'm a throwback to Aunt Eleonora. Oh, she didn't have a brain in her head either.
Now, you see, it's all a matter of memory, Jeans.
The only memory she could have inherited is how to have fun. Well, I must teach my class of firm and practical theory.
Wow, you're in a fine, foul mood. What's wrong?
Nothing.
Nothing that little brainless can help you with, you mean? Okay, suffer. I'm going to watch a fencing match.
Fencing match? Since when have you been interested in fencing?
Well, since the person in question has offered to give me lessons. Oh, Norman, come and see. He's absolutely marvelous. You know, he's even better than his father. His father's a champion.
His father?
Well, sure, you know Joseph Castle. Well, the trustee of the university. His son...
Father and son. That could be an inherited talent. Fencing, huh? Come on, Marie. I'm going with you.
Well, good.
You're right. He's brilliant.
He's training for the Olympics.
Touché. Excuse me, Pop, I've got company. Hi, darling. It tastes wonderful. Who's your friend?
Oh, Professor Hughes, Joe Castle.
Hi.
How do you do?
Oh, and this is Mr. Castle Sr.
Of course, I've met Professor Hughes several times.
Sure, I didn't recognize you with the mask on. Well, congratulations, sir. That was a wonderful match.
Well, thank you. Actually, this was a conditioning workout. I'm hoping to have my son ready for the Olympics by fall.
Oh, well, I shouldn't think he needed much training.
Oh, Joe's not too bad, I think, considering that he's been at it just over a year.
Only a year? That's incredible. Tell me, how did you feel when you first picked up a foil? I mean, did you have any sensation of having fenced before or dueled before? Did you have a feeling that the movements or the stance or the holding of the foil came of itself instinctively?
What? Who? Huh?
Norman's a geneticist. He's trying to find out whether some of your genes remember how your ancestors used to do it.
Haven't a clue. Oh, you better ask Pop. He's the authority on the family tree.
Is that true, Mr. Castle? Do you have a genealogical record of your family?
Well, actually, the study of genealogy is one of my favorite hobbies.
Oh, come on, darling, before Pop starts digging up some 17th century skeleton. So long, Pop. Gotta show Marie the new racer. Oh, happy hunting with the old chromosomes, Professor.
Well, I suppose he'll begin to assume some responsibility someday, but I often wonder when. Well, I'm off to the shower. Glad to see you again, sir.
You were saying, sir, that genealogy is your favorite hobby.
Well, as it relates to my own particular family, yes.
Well, were you able to discover if any of your ancestors were celebrated because of their swordsmanship?
Oh, as a matter of fact, there were several. But I'm not sure you could prove any theory of heredity on that basis. You see, there were a number of scholars, priests, hunters, ne'er-do-wells like my son. After all, I have documentary evidence from the 14th century.
14th century? Oh, Mr. Castle, please, would you be good enough? I mean, it would be a great privilege, an enormous favor if you would permit me to examine those documents.
Permit you? Well, my dear sir, it's seldom if ever that I can find a willing listener. I should be more than delighted.
Oh, wonderful. When?
As soon as I can get out of the shower.
Professor Anna, I've caught my rabbit.
Come here. This is the Duke de Castillo, by far our most distinguished ancestor. The Duke gave up his title when he arrived here and anglicized the family name Castillo, which in Italian, of course, means castle.
I see.
From your point of view, you'd be interested to learn also that he was a very fine swordsman. Now, as for the others, you'll find them all neatly documented here. This is my most prized possession. A scrapbook, so to speak, of the entire Castillo clan.
Oh, this is fascinating.
Your enthusiasm is delightful. Of course, the 14th and 15th centuries are not so complete, but here. With the Contessa Lucia de Castillo, here she is, we begin to have a description of personalities.
Oh, she's exquisite.
Isn't she? And a brilliant woman as well. A writer. I have the original copy of her autobiography. Her son Giuseppe, a minor figure.
Oh, wait a minute, please. Who'd you say this was?
Why, that's Giuseppe de Castillo, the Contessa's second son. He died at the age of 22. There's a better portrait of him there.
You have any tracing paper?
Tracing paper? Yes, I think so, though I confess I don't understand.
Well, I'd rather not explain just yet. At least not until I try this. Thanks. See, it struck me that Giuseppe, apart from his hairdo and the mustache, well, his features and the bone structure, and the eyes. Now, you see what I mean?
Beyond a question of doubt. Identical. This is my son's face.
Mr. Castle, do you have any material, any manuscripts, letters, anything which would describe Giuseppe's life in any detail? Anything?
Well, actually, Well, of course. His mother, the Contessa. In her autobiography, she devoted a couple of chapters to her son. She outlived him by several years, you know. Now, let's see. Yes, here we are. The story of my son, Giuseppe d'Alba de Castello.
This is incredible, absolutely incredible.
What's incredible?
Well, the similarity in the facial structure and the names. Well, the first and last name. Giuseppe Castillo. Now, if translated into English, isn't that
Yes. Yes, it is.
Joseph Castle, the very name of your son, born 400 years later?
Because of the evidence which he gathered in Mr. Castle's library, Norman Hughes is now convinced that memories can be inherited through the genes. However, trying to convince his superior, Professor Anna, is quite another matter.
But you won't face the facts. The facts, Professor. The almost identical facial structure, the chin, the nose, the eyes.
I grant you, but
Well,
Norman...
fine. Then grant me the enormous similarity in their personalities. Both men fearless to the point of recklessness. And both of them rebels against social convention. And both of them wonderful swordsmen.
Norman, what is it you're trying to prove? Reincarnation? Another version of Bridie Murphy?
No, no, no. I'm just trying to prove one thing, that genes can carry memories. Look, how do you explain Joe's extraordinary talent with a foil when he's never even held one until a year ago?
How do you explain the dissimilarities, my friend?
Dissimilarities?
Your 17th century Mr. Castle was 5 foot 9 inches tall, weighed 150 pounds. While your 20th century Mr. Castle
Is
is
6
well
feet
over...
tall and weighs 190 pounds. Well, what about it? Look, we know that our modern diet of vitamins, proteins, they add to our weight and our height. Why, this generation alone is 2 inches taller than the last one. And you know as well as I do that 5 feet 9 inches was considered a tall man in the 17th century, the equivalent of our 6-footer today.
Your first Mr. Joseph Castle was married at the age of 20, had 2 children, died at the age of 22 as a result of a fall from his racehorse Esmeralda. Your present Mr. Castle in the air is 22, unmarried, without children, has no racehorse Esmeralda or anything else.
Look, they were married earlier in those days, and they had children earlier. And what's all the nonsense about Esmeralda? Esmeralda is just a name.
It won't do, my friend. It just won't do. For your similarities, you present excellent arguments. For the dissimilarities, it's only rationalization. I admire your scientific curiosity, but this is scientific romance. What you must have is proof. More and more and more proof.
Look, I want more proof, and I'm going to get it. As a matter of fact, I have an appointment with Joe Castle in exactly 10 minutes. I'll get you more proof, Professor.
Even if you have to create an Esmeralda for him yourself, huh?
Oh, hi, Norman. What's up?
I want to talk to Joe.
What?
I want to talk to Joe.
Oh, Joe!
Yes, darling. Works like a miracle. Let's try her out. Well, hi, Professor. What's cooking?
Well, I guess I am. We had an appointment this afternoon.
Oh, completely forgot. Always forget. Look what I remembered instead. Isn't she beautiful?
Well, I'll have to admit she's an improvement.
Oh, he's not talking about me. He means Esmeralda.
What?
Who? Esmeralda, the car.
We're going to take her out right now and see how fast she'll go.
Wait a minute. Joe, where'd you get that name?
Esmeralda?
Yeah.
No, it just popped into my head. I'm racing her next Tuesday at Marblehead.
You can't race her, Joe. Now, you mustn't. No, now, listen to me, Joe. You can't race her.
Sure I can. Come watch next Tuesday.
That's the whole story, Marie. Giuseppe de Castillo was killed in a fall from his favorite racehorse, Esmeralda.
Spooky.
Well, what's even more spooky, the date of Giuseppe's death is exactly 22 years, 180 days from the date of his birth.
And?
And the date of this automobile race next Tuesday is exactly 22 years, 168 days from the date of Joe's birth.
Meaning?
Meaning, I believe that the time factor needed to build up this same degree of recklessness in both lives is approximately the same. And the result of that recklessness...
Mother, do you really believe what Norman's been saying?
Well, It is an interesting theory.
And amusing, Professor?
And amusing, perhaps. But there is obviously a possibility the theory may prove a valid one. And as long as there is the slightest possibility, then every precaution should be taken.
And you must persuade Joe not to race.
But... Oh, that's absurd. I mean, I couldn't persuade Joe to do anything. Nobody can. And in the second place, if your theory is correct, that means he's going to race Esmeralda sometime very soon. And when he does, it's inevitable that he's going to...
No, it isn't inevitable. You're forgetting the greatest of God-given gifts, the gift of free will. Now, Joe is free to make his own choice whether to race or not to race.
But Norman, he's already chosen.
No. Decisions have been changed, you know that. Now it's up to you, Marie.
I'll do the best I can.
And in the fourth position, Sweet Pea, number 8, driven by William Edison. In fifth position, Baby Doll, number 16, driven by Tony Marsden. And in sixth position, next to the rail...
Next to the rail, sixth position. That's where I should be right now. I feel like a Class A dunce.
Well, please don't act like one.
It's because of you and your insane, stupid...
Preposterous hypothesis?
Exactly. Now, you'll never be able to prove whether your theory is anything more than preposterous. It should make you feel like a dunce, too.
Oh, why won't I be able to prove it, Joe?
I think that's pretty obvious. Now that Esmeralda's not racing, you'll never know if I'd have cracked up or not. Which leaves your theory exactly nowhere.
I'm glad, Joe, because that leaves you definitely somewhere.
Slightly bunched behind him together are Sweet Pea, Green Fire, and Satellite. And just behind them is the newcomer, Battle Taxi. The track is in top condition. Marsden in number 16, Baby Doll, leads them through the turn. Wait a minute! Two of those cars are in trouble as they come out of that turn. Look out! It's Green Fire and Satellite crashing into each other. They're out of control. There goes Green Fire right through the outside crash wall. Satellite is rolling over and over. It's catching fire. Here comes number 3 trying to get by on the inside. He's losing control of the car through the inside rail. His car is flipping over. The driver is thrown clear. This is one of the worst we've ever seen, ladies and gentlemen. Number 3, Battle Taxi, which started in 6th position next to the rail, had too much speed to get through on the inside. I can tell from here that the driver, although thrown clear, has been seriously injured. Those wheels are still spinning on that overturned car. The officials are frantically signaling for both ambulances and fire trucks. We'll try to get you information on the condition of the driver of number 3 just as soon as he's brought to the infield hospital.
Come in.
Hello, Professor Hughes.
Oh, Joe. This is a strange place for you to be, isn't it?
Yeah. Listen, I never did thank you for what you...
No, forget it.
Looks like you proved your theory. Congratulations.
Now, you're about 50 years premature with your congratulations, Joe.
I am?
After all, an automobile crash is hardly concrete proof of the existence of a memory, Gene. Let's just say it's a step in the right direction, huh? Maybe with luck in another 50 years, I'll come up with a working hypothesis.
Could you use any help?
What?
Well, I know I've been a lousy student up till now, but maybe it's because nothing seemed important enough. This theory of yours looks like it's worth a lifetime of concentration.
Look, if you're serious, I would consider myself lucky to have you work with me.
You would? Why?
Well, according to the reports, Giuseppe was a brilliant student along with everything else. Now, maybe you've inherited some of those genes, too.
Well, what do I do first?
Come here.
course, our story was fiction. But as with the case of Shanti Devi, there remain a great many mysteries in science which can only be explained by the existence of a memory gene. Perhaps in our lifetime, scientists will have been able to solve this most